Well, welcome back. Junk Shop Library here, ready for another installment of Improv Bible Study. We bring you today the 18th chapter of the book of Genesis. I really hope you like what you've seen so far. Please click the thumbs up button to indicate so that I know. 18. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran out to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to thee according to the time of thy life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abram that which he hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abram answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. He said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. He said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left, communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Genesis 18. The invention of haggling. Well, not too long ago, I was wishing that more would happen in the space of a chapter. All right, so Abraham's kicking back in the tent, and three men walk up, and he perceives somehow that they are the Lord, or one of them is the Lord. Either that, or he's just obsequious to a cartoonish extent. He says, hey, prop your feet up, take a rest, I'll bring some water, you can wash your feet, I'll bring dinner out, just hang out for a while, the desert's hot, take a breather. And they say, okay, and they sit down under the tree. And so, like a good host, having invited passers-by to dinner, he goes into the house and says, Sarah, get some flour. I need you to make bread. And he goes out to the herd and takes a calf and renders it and dresses it and prepares it. And 3-4 hours later, he rolls up to the foot of the tree and says, I told you I'd bring you a meal. Hope you weren't in a hurry. And they sit and they eat, and the leader of the dude says, where's Sarah, your wife? And Abraham says, oh, her indoors? She's indoors. And God says, I'll be back next year. She'll have a child. Abraham at this point has got to be thinking, oh my goodness, if I have one more person or entity or dream or floating lamp that says my old wife and my old self are going to have a son, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Ur of the Chaldees. Take up tent making. And the Lord says, oh, no, she will. I'll be back in a year, and she's for sure going to have a son. And Sarah inside goes, because after all, remember, it had ceased to be with her after the way of women at the age of 90. And the Lord says, hey, Sarah in there, why did you... She says, I didn't laugh. He said, yes, you did. So your son's name is going to be Isaac, which, if I remember correctly from my Bible school days, lo, these many moons ago, is some form of an ancient Hebraic verb to laugh. Oh, you laugh at me? Yeah, you watch who's laughing now. When you get your miracle baby, you're going to have to name him Laffy. And the men stride off towards Sodom, and Abraham kind of tags along, and the Lord says, I suppose I should really tell this guy what I'm about to do just right over the hill. After all, I want him to follow me and keep my covenants. So he says, I hear terrible things about Sodom, and I'm going to go find out if those terrible things are actually true. And if it is, I'm going to burn the joint to the ground. And Abraham says, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. Even back during my warlording days, I did take prisoners. I didn't necessarily kill just everybody. And then they commenced to haggling, and once Abraham wears the Lord down to sparing the entire city if he finds 10 righteous people there, the Lord says, okay, that's enough, and heads on down the road. Don't know when the last time was I encountered the word peradventure. I do love the haggling story, though. What if you find 50? Well, what if you find 45? Well, what if you find 30 or 20 or 10? At this point, God's just ready to burn the place down and doesn't anticipate finding 10 righteous people in the whole city. All right, so of course that's this, entertaining angels unaware. Then don't laugh at anything they say, because you might have to name your kid Laffy. All right. Well, next we will do Genesis 19, which is probably one of the handfuls of stories out of this early days of Abram that you've encountered somewhere before, which is the continuing adventures of the family of Lot. We will see you then. Take care.